Hey people, so one of the things I do is DJ, so in terms of me doing music and stuff, I haven't been posting much recently because a lot's been going on, but I can tell you one thing now. The Silver Golf that I was going to build the audio system in, yeah, that blew up. So hunt for another car, and what a bad time to buy a car currently, as most of you know. So in the midst of hunting for another car, I had some PA equipment mess up on me, so I've had to order a new part. Now there's not really a lot of information on this and the 905, so I was doing a lot of research into the 905 and found that really, I know it's like an extra, what's this, like 700 watt RMS, the other one's 11. It's the same components, it's just pushed harder, minus the amp I think slightly different, and the DSP, it's like I'd rather have just chosen the cheap one. I think a lot of people were asking the question of should they get the 905 or stick with the 705, and every time I've looked, everyone's always said just get, if you've already got a 705, just get a second one, or you know, like, it's kind of shrugged away from the 905, even though it's got more wattage and it's the same thing. You'd have thought it would have been better, but not necessarily, not always, depends what you're using it with and where. So I opted to get this, it's cheaper, and I've seen a few videos of two of these things going and they are insane, so I'm going to give one a go. I only need one because the venues I play at are quite small most of the time. If I'm going to use my own PA equipment, it's a small venue, like the size of the venue is like no more than 200 people, and if you're in the UK, a venue that holds 200 people is tiny, whereas in America it'd probably be a little bit bigger. So yeah, I mean, one of my venues is like 65 people, so, or 67, I can't remember exactly, but it's a small number. So this thing is more than plenty for me. Just remember, what we would use for PA equipment and what the Americans would use for PA equipment is it's the same stuff, but the venues and the locations different. So yeah, don't feel bad for just buying yourself one speaker if you do it, because I've just done it myself. So I'd be pairing this initially with 212, what they called, the brand's called the Box, but I'm replacing them speakers to the RCF 10, the 910s, 10-inch speakers. That's what I'm going to end up replacing them with. So 2 10s, 115, perfect combo for me, I think. And also, if you live in the UK, these things seem to be like rocking horse, you know, to get hold of. They're incredibly hard for some weird reason. Interested in this little place trying to turn this thing over. Oi. But this is apparently very close to some of the 12s of high brands. So like Yamaha's 12 and stuff like that. It's damn well big, I can tell you that much, but then actually it's also very small. I'll show you one of my 12s. This is one of my 12s, and it's actually bigger than this in terms of height. Obviously this is longer, and that's made of plastic. I can also tell you that that thing's not right. This is much heavier than this, which is pretty interesting. And that 12 is probably about, what, 10-12 years old, maybe older. They're not new. This is definitely. Alright, let's get it upright. It's not right, but it's definitely lighter than my speaker. I've got a power lead with it as well, which is at the back. See? This is what's on the back. So trying it in a house is not a very good comparison. It's going to sound insane in here. It needs to be used in my venues. I've used, I'll tell you what I have used. I've used what are they called? The FBT, like the twin 8s with the tops. They're not a cheap setup, actually, to be honest. And versus my two 12s, yeah, they got a hell of a lot more punch, but they're a lot brighter as well. Whereas my old ones are very mid-rangey and not quite as bright. So it's basically got the best of the top and the bottom on those speakers, but they're very expensive. It'd be interesting to see what one of my speakers, and this will do, versus one of the FBT speakers, because I only used one. Like I said, the venues that I play at are quite small. Using two is just too much. So yeah, so my next video with this thing will be when I'm set up. I will set everything up and then show you guys what I'm doing. But anyways, that is this.